Hello, Sir Alvin. Good afternoon. Magandang hapon.
Hello, Sir Franco. Hello,
Yeah.
buong Pilipinas. Magandang hapon po sa ating lahat.
Yes, no. Good afternoon, teachers. To all of you here, no, na nanonood po ngayon sa live stream natin. Okay. Bago po tayo mag-start siguro, teachers, no, paki-share naman po ang ating link para mas madami tayong ma-invite no na educators para sa hapong ito at na masaksihan natin no yung napakagandang topic for today, which is definitely something that our teachers and other educators no will definitely benefit from. Kaya nang sigurado po namin. Okay? Kaya share na po natin yung pong ating link ng ating session for today no sa ating Facebook, kay Instagram, Twitter at kung saan man po natin pwedeng i-share no yung ating link po natin. But muli teachers, magandang hapon po. Okay. So, Sir Alwin, siguro bago tayo mag-start, no, it's been a while. Medyo matagal-tagal tayo yung last session natin, no? Okay. I think that was on mindfulness, no? Okay.
Yes.
Maybe we could start, Sir Alwin, with introduction. Okay. What do we have for our teachers this afternoon?
So yes, Sir Franco, yes, teachers. So for this afternoon, ang topic po natin is on student engagement and student feedback. So kung ano po ba yung experience ng ating mga presenters ngayon tungkol dito. At hindi lamang po yun basta-basta natin sinasabi or based sa experience nila teachers. These are backed by research. Meron po silang mga sariling researches at yun po ang isi-share nila sa atin ngayon. Kung gaano nakatulong ang Edpuzzle sa kanila sa pagtuturo nila at gaano nakatulong ang Edpuzzle sa kanilang mga students.
Yun, no? At syempre, Sir Alwin, no, yung ano talaga natin dito is that yung idea ng research, right? Napakahalaga nito, no? Lalo na pag pinag-uusapan natin ang student engagement, okay? Of course, we can always gauge no, things about student engagement, pero iba pa din kapag data-driven ang ating, ang ating instruction, ang ating assessments, okay? Ang ating decision-making pagdating sa classroom. No? Lalo na ngayon, Sir Alwin, in the context of distance learning modality kung saan marami naman tayo, we're caught off guard, no? Hindi naman natin alam masyado yung nangyari ng distance learning or nung magkaroon ng pandemic, no? So, these educators that we have for today, no, have courageously and bravely, no, collected information, process it, analyze it, evaluate it, and came up with understanding on how to engage students in the classroom. And of course, Sir Alvin, no, i-highlight natin na hindi lang ito kung ano no, hindi lang to basta-basta engagement. Ito ay engagement with Edpuzzle, of course. Okay, siyempre yung
Yes.
pinapromote natin kasi hindi naman sa pagmamalaki no at hindi naman dahil kami ay mga Edpuzzle ambassadors niyo po no is that talagang malalim ang paniniwala namin that Edpuzzle is perhaps one of the most engaging tools that we have. Okay? By the way, Sir Alwin, i-congratulate po natin no, ang ating Edpuzzle K4 getting into the top 40 edtech tools no for 2020, I think 2020 pa, hindi pa naman tapos ng 2021. Okay,
Yes, sir.
yan yung mga mostly and widely used no. I think we are at number 17 if I'm not mistaken out of that top 40 no. Okay, we've jumped so high no this pandemic, so nakita pa natin yung increase ng use ng Edpuzzle no all throughout the world. Okay, so hindi pa papahuli ang Pilipinas diyan, kaya nga po meron tayong Edpuzzle Pilipinas. Okay? Yan. Maraming salamat Sir Altman L. Cabardo for sharing our link no and our session for today. Okay? For the rest po na sana po ma-share pa po rin po natin ang ating link for today. Okay, so Sir Alwin, siguro we're ready now and we're good to go okay for our first speaker for today. Okay? So can we now have our first speaker, Sir Alwin?
Okay, Sir Franco. So, background lang po kung paano po natin na-meet ang speaker natin for today. Nakita ko po siyang nag-post at nag-share sa Edpuzzle Coaches. This is the Facebook group of coaches all around the world. And right after I saw her post, talaga nag-message na po ako sa kanya so that she can share about her research to us. So for our first speaker, Sir Franco, in her 10 years of teaching career, Miss Regina De Lute has served as a literature teacher. So her passion for her craft has led to pursue graduate studies. So as a PhD major in English candidate, she is determined to explore many literary works for her dissertation. And of the many masterpieces she has surveyed, young adult novels continue to remain tied as a favorite with Edgar Allan Poe and Robert Frost. And as a literature instructor in tertiary level, her goals are to deepen the students' literary appreciation as well as to motivate them to express their understanding through creative means. So teachers, pinapakilala po natin ang ating first presenter and speaker for today to share about how she engaged her literature students. Let's welcome Miss Regina Crisel Delute.
Hello. Hello, everyone. Good evening po.
Good
Hello,
evening,
Sir
ma'am.
Franco and Sir Alwin. Hello
And
po. Thank you for inviting me.
good afternoon, Teacher Reg, and then we're glad, no, and we're delighted to have you here in our session for today. Okay, so we will not take no so much of your time so that we could spend no as much time as you want, okay, with our teachers today, okay, to show your research, okay, your experience, okay, in using Edpuzzle and increasing student engagement. Okay, so Teacher Reg, okay, take it away, and the floor is yours.
Thank you so much, sirs. All right, before I begin, thank you so much. And shout out sa mga taga Batangas State University na nandito po, sa aming students and co-workers. Salamat po for watching with me and staying with us. Okay, I would like to share with you one research that is very close to my heart. Ito po ay pinamagatan kong student engagement using Edpuzzle kasi tayo ay Edpuzzle coach. Okay, but before I begin, I would like to begin with 3 talking points. This is the first is I would like to give you a context, a very quick context of how it is done on our side and what it's like, to be an instructor in this pandemic. And of course, I would like to give you some things based on my research, of course, how I condition my students and eventually engage them using this Edpuzzle tool. So let's begin po. Okay, so a caveat again, this is based on my research and my pedagogical practice. And this research, some of the bits of this research I presented last September. Okay, so I would like to begin first with what Education Secretary Leonor Briones said. She said, education must continue. And sabi rin po ni Chair De Vera, there's no going back. Flexible learning will be the new norm. So with these in mind, okay, it's very difficult for me because I would have to do a lot of things as a teacher. So let me begin with how I condition my students. Okay. The first thing that I do, we use Google Classroom in our university. This is the premium version. This is Google Workspace for Education. And so here, I'm presenting to you right now po, what it's like to enter my virtual classroom. Okay. So sa umpisa pa lang po, I try to condition my students by having my very own header. For me, it's very important to have your own header, something that would remind them that it is your classroom, that they are there to learn. And I included 3 words which I would like them always to remember. These 3 words are imagine, create, inspire. Ito po yung mga words na gusto kong laging gagawin nila when they enter my classroom. So that way, I am conditioning them. Next, of course, I condition them by giving and dropping announcements. So sudden announcements in the Google Stream, such as this one that you see in front of you po. So I give announcements. Most of the time, these are very important. And sometimes, if it's not important, just if it's the weekend, halimbawa po ay Friday, so I would just drop something like a note like, take care everyone, enjoy your weekend. So, but again, in terms of conditioning our students, very important po na meron tayong i-announce na alam nilang gagawin nila. So that when they enter your classroom, your virtual classroom, they know already, okay, meron palang papagawa sa amin si Ma'am Reg. Meron papagawa sa amin si Sir. Okay, what else? Well, another thing po that I do is, yes, I upload announcements about something that they will watch. So something that is very important for them to watch kasi po, I'm an advocate of technology, educational technology. So lagi ko pong, I try to make sure that I give a video lecture for my students to watch. It's one thing that I do to condition them that you are in my room, so you have to learn in my classroom. Yun po. So that's one thing po, no, teachers, that we can do always. We can drop an activity as an announcement for our students. The next thing, of course, ito po. If you will look at my Google Classroom, makikita niyo po how I organize my stuff in the classwork. Paano po ba siya? Of course, definitely important po na alam nila beforehand ang ating learning objectives for that unit. Okay. And of course, I upload the video lectures. So these things, they have to watch prior to my class, our synchronous class. So context po ulit, sa amin pong university, we do the bichronous learning, wherein our students attend live sessions and our students would have their asynchronous. So they learn on their own pace po. Okay, so that's one thing po. And then, another thing that I would like to highlight here is, yan. Let's have our students be reminded of the discussion based on the recording. So we must upload our recording para still alam nila, they are still on track of what's being discussed in the classroom or what was discussed. Para po marerefresh sila before your class with them begins. Okay. So how do I engage my students? Probably ito yung heart ng aking short talk po. Ano po? Again, my context. Ang context ko po ay ganito. I am an Adobe Education Leader. I am a Google Certified Educator, and I am a Microsoft Innovative Educator. I am also, proudly, I am an Edpuzzle Coach. Sa aming po university, parang dalawa pa lang po kaming Edpuzzle Coach. And so nilalabi ko sa ibang kasamahan, try Edpuzzle, it will really change your life as a teacher and your students will truly enjoy this based on my experience and research. So these are the things that I would like to share with you as someone that is an advocate of educational technology and as someone that is an enthusiast of EdTech. So ano po ba? Well, here are my contexts, and these are some of the things that came out from the research. So ito po, I would like to highlight class engagement, creativity, interaction. Ano pa? Okay, here po, let me highlight again. Engagement, collaboration, speaking and sharing opinions. So ito yung mga gusto ng estudyante namin na magawa ng teachers at nila sa kanilang klase. It came from them. These pieces of feedback came from my students. So I thought, ito yung mga gusto nila, paano ko gagawin to? With all the technologies available to us in our university, sa lahat ng binili ng university, paano ko to gagamitin bilang teacher para i-engage yung estudyante ko? Because whether I admit it or not, last year was a trial. Kung aaminin po natin or hindi, pero para po sa akin, naging trial po ang last year para sa maraming teachers. And paano ko po nasabi yun? Not many teachers are equipped with handling classes online. Not many teachers are armed with the knowledge and the technical know-how of conducting classes in a flexible type of learning environment. Pero the goal here is we have to use educational technology. We have to because, according to Espinosa in 2016, advances in technology have changed the landscape of education. Teaching is no longer confined in in-campus classes in delivering lessons. What does this imply? It implies, number one, the survey, it implies that we teachers must use ICT. We have to love technology. We cannot let technology dominate us. We must dominate technology. We are teachers, and we must use technology to our advantage. Traditionally, teachers, nagagalit tayo. Ako po, dati, nagagalit ako pag ang estudyante ko gumagamit ng cellphone sa klase ko. And then came 2015, 2016, 2017. I realized that my students can take their exams online. So gumamit ko ako, tinry kong gumamit ng Edmodo sa college. And back then, it was good because on my part, madali pong mag-check kasi automatic na lumalabas yung scores ng mga bata. So that's one thing. Teachers, we must love technology. We are living in this day and age wherein we teach 21st century skills. And how can we teach something that we don't love? Unless, we can teach something effectively if we embrace that one. So here, let's embrace technology. Yun po ang aking goal sa pag-share ngayon. Let's embrace technology. Why? Because technology can help us. Technology can better our lives. Technology can improve the way we do stuff, the way we do things. Education is much better with technology. So another thing that I got from that survey, is this one. Student engagement is very important, especially when students do not see us. So, kanina po sa aking context, sinabi ko po sa inyo na gumagamit po kami ng bi-chronous environment sa aming university. So, we have synchronous sessions and we have asynchronous sessions. Madali pong mag-engage pagka nasa live sessions. I can just ask my students to do Jamboard. I can just ask my students to chat their answers in the chat box, to raise their hands, to use the raise hand feature sa Google Meet. I can ask my students to do collaboration sa Google Doc or sa Google Slides. Pero paano naman po ang estudyante ko may engage pagka offline silang nag-aaral? The question that was in my mind last year was, paano ko sila tutulungan? Hindi pa pwede na magpabasa lang ako na magpabasa. I wasn't contented at all at what I was doing. Hindi ko po makita yung sarili ko na ito lang ang pinapagawa ko at okay na ako dito. I wasn't sure whether if my students were learning. I was not sure if the material that I asked them to watch is finished, kung talagang pinanood ba nila. kung talagang binasa ba nila. So ito po yung mga naglalaro sa isipan ko last year. And truth be told, bago ko pa po nakita si Edpuzzle last year, when I saw Edpuzzle, it's a game changer for me. Okay, so again, yun po yung isa sa mga lumabas sa survey na ibinigay ko sa estudyante. Student engagement is very important. Our students clamor for engagement. Next, ano nga ba yung student engagement? Well, according to Ku, student engagement is the quality of effort and participation in authentic learning activities. Authentic learning activities, quality of effort and participation. Kung walang effort si student at hindi siya nagpa-participate sa binigay mong activity, that's not student engagement. Hindi yun student engagement na nandiyan lang yung material sa Google Classroom nila. I can, kung ako estudyante, okay, i-skip ko na lang yan. I can just do that some other time. Halimbawa, pag malapit na ang exams, tsaka ko lang siya babasahin. See, wala po akong way to determine kung totoong natututo yung students ko. So I wanted my students to learn. That's how much I'm passionate about them learning in my classes. Okay, so yun po. And I'm pretty sure I share the same sentiment with teachers. So what else? Kanina po, I said that I condition my students. I motivate them. And these bits of conditioning, mind conditioning, have been helpful in keeping my students engaged, in keeping my students on track. Na alam nila na pagka Monday at Wednesday, klase ng Ma'am Reg yan. I realized that when we condition our students, halimbawa nagda-drop tayo ng mga announcements or video lectures, okay, mas they look forward. They look forward to your classes because they know what's to come. Whereas, if they do not know what to come, they feel a certain anxiety. Okay po? And later on, meron pa akong remedy dyan sa anxiety na yan. So, for now, let me just share what Marsh in 2000 said. Motivation and engagement relate both to student learning. So what does this imply? We have to condition our students to learn. We have to motivate them to learn because motivation is conditioning our students. Di ba po, motivation is the first part in a lesson plan. Kailangan po natin makuha yung kanilang interest. And in this online environment, in this online learning landscape, the only way that we can do that is by announcements, sudden announcements. Ano po? Students love announcements kasi they know what's to come. Gusto rin nila pag ang announcement ay walang pasok, katulad ng 3-day academic break sa amin. So gustong-gusto nila yung ganyang announcements. Another thing, engagement, and this is again the heart of this talk. I'll be sharing now some tips, some secrets, not so secrets, that I do based on the research. So I got the data from last year and then this year, and then ina-apply ko na po siya agad ngayong first semester namin. So let me just give you some implications based on these two things. Motivation and engagement relate to student learning. Anong implication ngayon? Well, conditioning plus engagement equals learning. Ewan ko po kung nag-agree kayo, but I hope that you do agree. Conditioning, we keep our students motivated, we motivate them, we give them activities that would pukaw, that would target their interest, and then engage them. Okay? E paano nga yung engagement na sinasabi mo? Okay? How can we really engage our students? Well, number one, prepare something students find relatable. Based on what my students said, mas maganda kung tayong teachers gagamit ng something na viral, something that is trending. So ano-ano ba itong mga to? I found that my students loved memes. Okay, the memes, they're funny, but we have to make sure that the memes that we give our students, okay, are related naman to our topic. Okay, so let me just give you an example. Okay, just a disclaimer, yung mga music po dito na ginamit ko sa aking lecture videos ay hindi po sa akin. They belong to their rightful owners, but the voice is mine, the script is mine. Dito po naman sa second, it's a TikTok challenge that I did. So please bear with me po. I will just play and I will explain how this is relatable to my students.
Or maybe you're Africa. Africa is the second largest continent. It's also the second most populous, with an estimated population of 1.216 billion as of 2016. There are 54 countries in this continent, with Algeria being the largest. After Sudan split into Sudan